Ladies and gentlemen, landlords are finding ways to evict after they receive the government assistance money. So we know part of the deal, they're not supposed to be doing that, but look, who's going to enforce it? They'll tell them, okay, once you get assistance money that catches up your tenant's rent, you can't just put them out. But nobody is paying attention to that, ladies and gentlemen, and they're putting people out anyway. And that's because they're not enforcing it. All right. A day before she was due to be evicted in November from her Atlanta home, Chanel King heard that she had been awarded $15,000 in rental assistance. She could breathe again. But then the 43-year-old hairdresser got a letter last month from her landlord saying the company was canceling her lease in March, 7 months early, without any explanation. I'm really pissed about it. I thought I would be comfortable again back in my home, said King, whose work dried up during the pandemic and who now worries about finding another apartment she can afford. I am I have my back up against a wall with nowhere to go. I don't know where I'm going, so she don't know where she's going and she doesn't know what she's going to do. That's terrible. All that money. So once they received all that money, they don't care about her, so they're just kicking her on out. Although 46.5 billion emergency rental assistance program has paid tens of billions in dollars to help avert evictions. Some tenants like King who received help finding themselves threatened with eviction again, sometimes days after getting federal help. Many are finding it nearly impossible to find another affordable place to live. It is a band-aid. It was never envisioned as anything more than a band aid. Mm-mm-mm. So, this is Aaron Wallaby, director of the Clayton Housing Legal Resource Center in Atlanta. It's not solving the underlying problem, which is a lack of affordable housing. And people are on the hook for rent they cannot afford to pay. Simply finding something cheaper is not an option because there is not anything cheaper. So people are saying the rent is so high now and they are going to jack up the rent. Inflation is going on. And I did a story the other day and they said rent is one of those things that the price of rent is exploding in America. The National Housing Law Project in the survey last fall of nearly 120 legal aid attorneys and civil rights advocates found that 86% of respondents reported cases in which landlords either refused to take the assistance or accepted the money and still moved to evict tenants. The survey also found a significant increase in cases of landlords lying in court to evict tenants and illegally locking them out. A number of issues could be described as issues related to landlord fraud, and a set of problems I would describe as loopholes within the program that made it less effective to accomplish the goal, said Natalie Maxwell, a senior attorney with the group. National Apartment Association president and CEO Bob Penninger said that the survey was not based on facts, adding that its members are doing everything they can to keep tenants in their homes, including lobbying to get rental assistance out faster. Skewed surveys aren't reflective of the entire situation. By and large, the rental housing industry has gone to great lengths to support residents. So that's what they're claiming. But in the meantime, people are getting booted out to the streets. Legal aid attorneys interviewed across the country confirmed they are seeing a steady increase in cases where tenants were approved for rental help and still faced eviction. These include a mother of a newborn and two other children in Florida who received rental assistance but was ordered evicted after the landlord refused to take the money. Another Florida landlord lied in court that she didn't receive the money in a bid to push through an eviction. There have also been cases in Georgia and Texas where landlords who received assistance moved to end the lease early, increase rents to unaffordable levels, or found other reasons that non pay to evict someone, lawyers said. As it is right now, it doesn't seem to be working as intended. It feels much more like a program that is alleviating the pressure of the eviction crisis, but not solving the underlying problems. And they're also doing the same thing in Alabama. They said they see an uptick of landlords getting assistance and returning to court a few weeks later after the tenant falls behind on rent to seek eviction. So far, they have prevented them, though she expects a spike in these kind of cases going forward. All right. So what they're saying is, judges really need to make sure that they pay close attention to these evictions and not just throw people out, especially after, landlords receive money and then turn around and force people out after they get the assistance. And they're saying right now, judges in this country are not paying attention or even taking that into consideration. In the case of King, she believes landlords are retaliating for earlier complaints of mold and water leaks in her three-bedroom house. The company King was dealing with manages property for, I guess, multiple owners, said it was not at liberty to share the details of the tenant status nor their payment record. Other cases are complicated by the length of the pandemic and the conflicting accounts of landlord and tenants. And they often leave both parties feeling shortchanged. Despite a landlord getting $20,000 in rental assistance, Prince Beatty is facing imminent eviction from his three-bedroom house in East Point, Georgia. After the money was approved, Beatty signed the agreement in court late last year to pay several thousand more that he owed as a condition to remain in the house. He went back to the county for additional assistance to cover the balance, but he was denied. Unable to find warehouse work during the pandemic, the 47-year-old Navy veteran still can't pay his rent and is now $12,000 behind, in part due to his rent increasing from $1,250 to $2,000 a month. Beatty was told that he would be evicted this month, said he wakes most mornings in a panic, wondering if this will be the day when the marshals come and disrespect my stuff and throw it in the streets. Wow. So, what a terrible thing. I wish they would have done a better job in managing the program, but as you can see, just like any other agency in the US, it's ran like crap. And these folks want to know why they're on their way out. Everything you touch is corrupt and it runs like crap. And boy, my heart goes out to all of these folks. What a bad situation. And, yeah, I do believe landlords should be paid. And I believe they should have been part of the stimulus in this country when it was given out. They should have given a lump sum to the landlords. That way, it would have been less of an issue of them pushing people out. But this rental assistance, I was reading how people applied, and I did a video on if your application wasn't right, they would just throw it in the trash instead of sending it back and asking you to correct things. To me, that would have been the right thing to do. But they just throw it away. You don't know what's going on. You haven't heard from anybody in months. It's just, it's a nightmare. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.